partnership is also defined increasingly by efforts to advance technology and innovation, 5G, quantum, artificial intelligence, and to ensure that they are shaped by our values. Building on the initiative on critical and emerging technologies that was launched in January, we announced an innovation handshake yesterday to further connect our startup ecosystems. And the landmark agreement to jointly manufacture advanced GE fighter jet engines in India will facilitate greater tech transfer while strengthening our shared security. We're also de-risking and diversifying our supply chains, from Micron investing $800 million to assemble semiconductors in Gujarat, to India joining the Mineral Security Partnership. And that partnership is helping to develop and ensure trusted sources for vital energy minerals. India's Epsilon Carbon is investing $650 million and creating more than 500 good-paying jobs to build electric vehicle batteries here in the United States, the largest ever Indian investment in the U.S. EV battery industry. And of course, we're investing in our people. Our country's education systems have collectively trained the leaders of trailblazing companies in both the United States and India, Infosys, IBM, FedEx, and we're committed to continuing to create new success stories, streamlining visa processes, opening new consulates to facilitate travel, expanding student exchanges, research collaborations, addressing skills gaps, promoting economic empowerment of women, ensuring that all our people have access to opportunity. You know, if we were gathered together 50, 75, 100 years ago, and we were asking ourselves the question, what constitutes the wealth of a nation? Probably the answer you get back then is maybe the size of its landmass, its population, the strength of its military, its abundance of raw materials. And all of those things remain important. But I think what the United States and India recognize powerfully together is that in this 21st century, the true wealth of our nation is our people. And our ability to maximize their potential is what sets us apart. President Biden often likes to say that America can be defined by a single word: possibilities. These past few days have underscored how that spirit of possibility, defines now the U.S.-India relationship. Our governments will continue to do our part. But I'm asking all of you in this room to continue to do yours. Forge new ventures and partnerships. Invent game-changing products and services. Create unimagined opportunities. Visit friends and family in India. Host them here in the United States. Maybe even right here at the Kennedy Center. Continue to be that engine powering our progress. If we do all that, I truly believe that the U.S. and India will shape together a more peaceful, a more prosperous, a more connected future. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome USISPF Chairman Emeritus of Cisco Systems, and CEO of JC2 Ventures, Mr. John Chambers.
Thank you, my friends. It is one of the biggest honors of my life today to introduce a leader that I think grasps where the future is and is able to enable a country, partner with other countries, and change the world. I have met probably 40 of the top leaders around the world over 35 years in leadership. And the very first time I met the Prime Minister, he was different. He had an energy that was amazing. He had an understanding of technology and how technology was going to enable a country. And then he did something that is really unusual. He connected a vision to a strategy, to what are the priorities to get it done, to outcomes. And when he outlined his Digital India strategy to me and asked for feedback, It was perfect for the future. He based his economy, inclusion of all the people in India, 1.4 billion today, on the ability to bring the power of technology to them, to change their lives, to enable them to participate in what will be the largest economic growth of any country over the next decade. I want to be very upfront. As most of you know, I have been the biggest optimist, the biggest bull on India's future, not in 1 or 2 years, but for the last decade since he came into the leadership. I am the Prime Minister's biggest supporter, and I always have been. Honored to be his friend, but also watch a man who has the ability to outline a strategy and then make it happen. People often ask, what was so unique? What is so unique about this person that changes countries, and I believe will change the world over time? He has an ability to inspire hope, to make us believe on what's possible. He then has the ability to build confidence on what the future can be. Then he is amazingly good on execution and getting his team and other teams to pour toward a common goal. And then most important, he gets results. Many in America have a very positive view of India and the Prime Minister, but they really don't understand how far this country's come in the last decade. The country has moved from a very slow follower, where the government was very bureaucratic and very, very slow moving and rigid and not a dreamer, to the most innovative country in the world. It shows up in the economic results, where the country has moved from number 10 in the world to number 5, and as the Prime Minister said, in the next couple of years, number 3. However, I'm usually pretty good at getting market transitions and being accurate on connecting the dots for the future. India will become the #1 economy in the world. And it will do so under the plans and programs the Prime Minister is putting in place. When you look at really leadership is made up of 3 component parts, in my opinion. It's your currency. It's first about your track record. And the track record of the Prime Minister in India over the last decade is an envy of the entire world, an example and a model for us to follow. Secondly, it's the ability to form relationships. This leader can form relationships with leaders around the world, with Democrats and Republicans. A little bit of Southern humor there. But also, he instills trust. And often when people come together and say, here's what we can do together in the future, it is all about trust. Do you trust me? Do you trust the other side that both of us will deliver? When people ask me that question, I have one simple answer. I would trust this leader with my life. So today you're going to hear one of the great visionaries of the future who also knows how to execute. You're going to hear he'll be very humble. He's a very kind person. But you will also hear a vision for what I believe will make India the #1 economy. You're going to hear a vision of how 2 countries can partner together in a way that no 2 countries ever have in history to work toward a common goal that will be to the benefit of every one of our citizens in India and in the United States, but also to the benefit to the world. It is my pleasure to introduce one of the great leaders in the world, Prime Minister Modi. Please come and address us, sir.
Thank you.